Howdy Pitmasters. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use an offset smoker just like this one. Let's get to it. So if you've never used an offset smoker before, to get a grasp and an understanding on the basic concept is quite easy. However, if you are new to low and slow smoking, it can be a bit of a whirlwind and can take a bit of time to understand the full fundamentals, and especially if you just bought yourself a new pit, first time using an offset smoker, it can be a bit daunting and especially take a bit of time to learn all those fundamentals, dialing in key temperatures and learning how to produce really nice smoky flavoured meat. So a key to getting a lot of this right from the beginning is learning how the actual smoker works and, what the purpose of the firebox is, where the food sits in the cooking chamber, what your dampers are for, your exhaust output, all of that. So that's what we're going to go through and learn right now. So the first step to understanding your offset smoker is learning what is what. So the first thing you want to understand is this bit here is your firebox. Exactly what its name says. You build your fires in here. So I've got a basket in here. By default, a lot of smokers don't come with a basket, but installing one in, putting one in there, just means that when your ash is burnt down, it doesn't kind of go all over the place, or your log splits, everything just stays contained. It makes the fire burn a little cleaner, maintaining it a little easier, and just makes cleanup a little bit easier. So you'll put your coals, your charcoal, or your briquettes, whatever, your lump, whatever you got in the bottom. That will create your heat and get your pit up to temperature. Then you'll add your wood splits, like I've got here, your logs of wood, and that will create your smoke. Now, some people, especially in bigger commercial pits, and competition circuits and things like that, they may not even use charcoal. They may just create a base of wood splits and have it burning, but that is really something you only do in really large fireboxes on big commercial pits, not your home domestic, I suppose, sort of offset smokers. So that's your firebox. That's exactly where your fire will be made and kept. Now you got your cooking chamber, exactly what it sounds like. This is where you're going to be cooking the food. So you're going to place your meat on these grates. Some smokers will have baffle plates in there, like heat deflectors, that will stop the heat coming through to the firebox being so strong. Cheaper models might not. A lot of people use bricks, or do things to mod them and create their own baffle plates. I tend to not use them. I tend to just place my meat further back. Yeah, and then you'll have other grates underneath that you can slide around like those and just use them to, whatever. Actually, I think those grates underneath there, those smaller ones, are actually in the firebox. So a lot of offset smokers will come with little grill grates that you can put in the firebox and you can actually grill directly over the fire. But I tend to not do that. It just makes things a little more messy, and I'll use my charcoal grill for that. So that's where your meat's going to cook. And then you've got your exhaust damper. So this is where your smoke and heat is going to funnel up and out. Now back over on the firebox, you'll have your door. So not only we have some smokers have a fire access door where you can put log splits in through here or stoke the fire without opening the door and letting the heat out. Some won't, some will just have these. And this is just your damper. And this is how you control a lot of the heat. A quarter of the way open, all the way open. I need to tighten that screw, as you can see it's falling down, but that is used to control. Between that and your exhaust damper is actually used to control a lot of your heat and temperature in your pit. So you could be thinking, right, this all sounds amazing and great, but what does that mean? I know the parts, but how does it work? Well, let me show you. So to use an offset smoker, the way it works is you've got your fire in your firebox, and using this door and these dampers to control your temperature and oxygen flow will determine how much of that oxygen pulls through to that fire and pulls that through to the cooking chamber. Having this open, whatever it is, quarter of the way, half of the way, whatever you need to do to dial in the temperatures, that's the art of offset smoking, is going to utilize that. The oxygen is going to come through here, it's going to pull the smoke and the fire out towards the exhaust, because not only will heat rise up and out of the box, but you've created an air system that funnels that smoke through and across. So the fire will be in here, very hot. The chamber will not be super hot. However, it will be pulling that fire across, and the smoke will be pulling across on top of the meat and funneling out the exhaust, cooking at that slow temperature, between 225, 250 Fahrenheit. Whatever temperature you're going for, it's low and slow. And the whole time, it's just funneling that fire and that heat and that smoke over and out of the smoker. So you'll have your temperature dials. A lot of time I have it over here because that's where I'm cooking. But you can have one here as well, or use your probe thermometer for more accurate temperatures. So if I'm aiming for 225 Fahrenheit, I'm using the size of my fire, the damper controls on the side of the door to control the level of the, is my fire burning too hot? So I'm going to adjust this. Maybe I'm going to close this off a bit so it's not funneling so much smoke through the fire. Yeah, maybe I need to get it hotter. So I'm going to open that firebox door again, and that's going to allow airflow and oxygen in to build the fire up. And then I'm going to open this a little bit, and it's going to start to pull more heat. The fire's going to grow bigger, the cooking temperature is going to get hotter, and the chamber's going to get hotter, and then we're going to be smoking at a higher temperature. So in a nutshell, at a very basic level, that is how an offset smoker works. It's basically a vacuum system. You're creating your fire in an offset area, hence the word offset, and it is pulling that smoke and fire through to slowly cook the meat that sits in the cooking chamber. These are great for cooking for large amounts of guests because you can fit a whole lot in the cooking chamber while the fire is worried about in an offset box. You're not having to deal with a hot fire and keeping the meat away whilst in the chamber. You can fit a heap in there. Because you're using wood splits, long logs, with your charcoal, not just little chunks or chips, you get a real authentic barbecue smoke flavour. You can use a lot of different woods. Here in Australia, we love red gum and ironbark. It gives an amazing flavour. We've got Aussie lump charcoal or a classic heat beads briquettes, if that's what you're into, whatever. You've got a lot of options. So offset smoker, using one of these stick burners truly is the most authentic, the real guts of real low and slow barbecue. So if you want to see the smoker in action, we've got plenty of videos on the Grillmarks Barbecue YouTube channel using this thing, cooking brisket, ribs, pork shoulders, everything. So specifically using this unit. That goes for pellet smokers, kettle grills, bullet smokers, everything. So if you want to learn more and see these things in action, subscribe, check out my other videos. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.